I'm going to be talking today about cloud cultivation or farming on the cloud, and that's a term which we've coined over a period of time. And my name is Alok. I'm from Growlife Solutions. I'm based in Pune, India. So, greetings from India. And quickly about Growlife. What are we into? Who are we, and what do we do? Uh, so, at Growlife, we are new generation growers. We are not traditional farmers. So, just a question. I mean, would you be translating this in Russian?
Yes, we're trying to do it simultaneously.
Okay, okay. So, should I continue?
Please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So we are new generation growers. What I mean by that is we are not traditional farmers. So me and my partners, none of us has done farming in the past. Our idea of getting into farming was basically to do sustainable and profitable farming. We are people with passion to grow clean and healthy food. Today, when we look at the produce which is available for the consumer, it's not really good. So, how do we really grow clean and healthy food was our intent. We are driven by innovation and technology, and we are a group of people who specialize in design, agriculture, lighting, engineering, and IoT. So that's about Grow Live. And when we just started our journey on farming, we first analyzed the traditional farming methods. And what we strongly came up with was the current traditional farming is very chemical intensive. A lot of excess use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides is happening. You can see it on the left side of the picture. Uh, on the top side, you see a drone spraying fertilizers or maybe pesticides and stuff like that. On the bottom side, you see the manual traditional version of doing it. In India, currently, both the methods are being used extensively. What we've also seen in traditional farming is a lot of soil degradation is happening because of wrong or I would say practices where farmers are greedy about increasing their produce, at the same time that kind of degrading their soil, they're degrading the ecosystem and everything. Water contamination happens to be another big issue in traditional farming. Very labor intensive. And at the same time, traditional farming in India is a little difficult one from the point of view of climate changes that happen throughout the year. So one has to really pick and choose crops you can grow during various seasons. I'm going to dwell upon this a little more in my subsequent slides. Uh, Open farming also has issues of animal and rodent contamination. And the third thing is you can't really do farming 365 days. So when we got into farming and we were like, how do we really grow 365 days a year? And that's how we started off and said, how do we make farming ecological and sustainable? So with these things in mind, we started our journey on farming and kept on evaluating things. What would be the right technology for us in terms of starting off? Quickly about where we located, we are kind of 4,000 kilometers south of Novosibirsk or Krasnoyarsk, and that's where we located. So we kind of have tropical climate in Pune or in India, and typically our monthly average temperatures would vary on the higher side from kind of 30 degrees centigrades or 86-degree Fahrenheit, and it could go to as high as 41 to 42 degrees centigrades for a few days in the month of April and May. So you can see, 2 or 3 months in a year during the summer months, temperatures are pretty high, and it's really difficult to do open land farming. The next thing about climatic conditions in Pune or in India is we have very high average monthly rainfall in the months of June, July, and August. So if you're lucky enough, the rains are good. Then in that case, your crop might not get damaged. But if you suddenly have excess rains, which is not in your control, your crop might get damaged. Again, humidity level you don't have control, and these are the current challenges which the farmers are currently facing in India. In terms of sunlight, we have good amount of sunlight available to us, so that's not an issue. But there's a little challenge out there. So what's the challenge? In terms of hours of daylight, we typically have between 11 to 13 hours of daylight throughout the year. But the challenge comes in the month of again June, July, and August when you have the day length, which is about 13 hours. You have overcast days because that's when it typically rains out here in India. And those are the days, though you have good amount of day length, because conditions are overcast, the amount of sunlight the plants get for photosynthesis reduces significantly. So a lot of challenges when it comes to traditional farming out here. So that's a summarize. I mean, that's a summary. These pictures talk about how seasons keep changing out here. The one on the left is winters, where you have nice clear skies, good produce. When it comes to the months of May, June, July, and that's where it rains, and I mean, damage to the crop could be excessive if the seeds, I mean, the rains are very heavy. At the same time, the picture on the right-hand side shows how summers would really affect your crop because it's going to be very hot and it's really going to be difficult to grow vegetables. So when we kind of studied this, our intent was we're going to be growing leafy greens and vegetables. We would not get into pulses and wheat and rice and stuff like that. So we wanted to produce a lot of leafy greens and vegetables which we eat on a daily basis. Now, what are the conditions you require for growing this? You need temperatures below 30 degrees. You need harvesting temperatures between 28 to 20 to 28 degrees centigrades and stuff like that. Now, these conditions are not available throughout the year. And that was the biggest challenge we had. So we said if we want to do farming throughout the year, which is 365 days, the best thing would be to go for protected farming. And that's what we started off with. And since we were very passionate about producing clean and healthy food and increased yields, growing 365 days, precision was something which was very, very important. So protected farming, yes, you would have the benefit, but how do we get more precision so that whatever you're producing is nice, clean, healthy, you get a good yield, and obviously it's going to be profitable agriculture. But at the same time, we said we are going to be working on two principles. One is grow naturally, grow the plants the way they grow in nature, and at the same time, how do we make it more sustainable? And those are the two key responsibilities or factors on which we work, and we use a lot of precision while doing so. So we started off our journey and we set up our first urban farm, which was an IoT-enabled urban farm. And you can see our connection with Russia out there. We narrowed down onto Overgrower, which is an IoT-enabled automation system. And apart from Overgrower, we use a lot of other technologies in terms of enabling precision in our plant, in our farm. So yeah, I mean, this was our first setup, and now we've expanded to multiple farms and stuff like that. We currently produce a lot of leafy vegetables. These are some of the pictures from our own farm. So we produce a lot of varieties of lettuce. We grow, herbs right from basil, arugula, rocket, kale, and we also do a lot of popular vegetables out here in India, which is spinach, coriander, mint, and a lot of stuff like that. Apart from that, we also grow fruiting crops like cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, and melons and stuff like that. So how do we really grow, and what are the basic principles on which we're working right now? We work on three basic things. One, optimization. Because we want to make our farming profitable, optimization is very important, or else we might not make profits, right? The second thing was how do we really make agriculture very, very sustainable? How do we make it long term rather than what we see in traditional farming, where you have soil degrading or water pollution happening and stuff like that. So sustainability was one thing which we focused on a lot. And the third thing was obviously precision. Since my childhood, I've been seeing agriculture, and I see a lot of places where precision is lacking. And when we don't have precision in farming, your farming is not going to be profitable, and that's why we focused on precision. So I'm just going to touch upon all these three aspects in a quick way. In terms of optimization, we were like, resource optimization was the first thing. How do I maximize the produce from the space I have? So space optimization was important. Water, yes, we all know water is an important resource for us. And how do we really optimize the use of water? So yeah, we went for soilless farming techniques, and that's where we were able to reduce our water requirement for plants significantly. So we're using water very, very efficiently. At the same time, when it came to nutrients, we're very particular about the amount of nutrients we feed to our plants, and again, precision. Here, rather, I would use the word precision than optimization as far as nutrients are concerned, and obviously labor. How do we make it very efficient in the farm? So that's another thing. I mean, so do you really go for farm mechanization? Do you really go for robots and stuff like that? And to what extent do you go? At the same time, what's important is you have to ensure profitability for the farm. So we're focusing basically on resource optimization, one, using all the resources very, very effectively. So as far as space optimization was concerned, as compared to the picture on the right-hand side, which is the traditional soil-based farming, we went in for very high plant densities. We currently are achieving plant densities of almost 30 to 45 plants per square meter when it comes to leafy greens. And in terms of cherry tomatoes and all that, we again go for very high density plantation. And what we've seen is, yes, it's feasible. We treat it like a factory. The way you would plan a factory for producing cars or any other product, laptops and stuff like that, we treat it like that. How do I maximize my space optimization? And that's what we're going on. So the picture on the left-hand side really shows you how, we're growing right now with not a single millimeter of space left out, right? And that's how we use space optimization. The second thing is, how do we make it natural and sustainable? When we look at current traditional farming, and we saw some pictures of the drones and stuff like that being used for doing foliar sprays, that was something which I personally feel is not the right way of doing it, farming. Uh, Plants should grow naturally. They should be fed nutrients through their roots, is what we strongly believe in. Because if you're trying to feed the plants through foliar sprays, yes, I know all the agronomists and people from agriculture would say, oh, foliar sprays are very effective, the plants grow faster. But the thing is, that's not the natural way plants grow, right? So we strongly believe in feeding the plants through roots. We don't apply any foliar sprays to our leafy greens. Why? Now, there's a particular reason for that. When you're talking of applying foliar pesticides or foliar fertigation nutrients to the plants on leaves, most of the leafy greens, let us say when we talk of salads, we will be consuming them raw. Now, whatever you're spraying on the leaf is not going to be absorbed by the plant leaf completely. So you will have residual nutrients on the leaf, and that's what we will be consuming. Even if you wash it before consuming, you might be cooking it, you might be eating it raw in salads and stuff like that. Like in India, we do a lot of cooking for leafy greens, especially spinach and stuff like that. You are going to be consuming those unutilized nutrients by the plant. So we strongly, and we've been successfully doing it. We are very proud to say that we don't do any foliar sprays on our leafy greens. When it comes to fruiting crops, yeah, there is a necessity to do that, but we typically then go organic way. We use a lot of organic sprays for our fruiting crops, but not for leafy greens, which you're going to be which you would be typically consuming raw. Uh, our main intent is also how do we save on water and stuff like that, and not only that, how do you produce clean and uncontaminated food. That's our focus, right? So having said that, the next thing which was important for us was precision. And again, repeat, precision, precision, and precision. And that's where, the first thing we did was we started hunting for an automation system for our farm. We came across Overgrower, which we really love this system. And we bought one system, and we straight away went ahead and tied up with Overgrower. We are their partners in India, and we help people use the system. We sell these systems in India apart from being a user of the system. So at our farm, precision in everything. What are the parameters which are critical to your produce? When I say critical to produce or critical to quality, we're talking about water quality, we're talking of quality of plant nutrients. Apart from quality of plant nutrients, the quantity of plant nutrients which you're feeding to your plants. And apart from that, yes, the last and most important, the climate. So when we talk of climate, we're talking everything, right, from light levels to temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide. We really don't use carbon dioxide, enhancing carbon dioxide levels in our protected farming polyhouses. That's not really very popular here in India. So we normally use whatever levels of carbon dioxide is available in the nature, and that's how we try and kind of focus on critical to quality parameters. Now it's a tough job to do all this manually, so that's where cloud connected technology comes in picture. Of how do you really utilize technology or cloud based technologies to control your critical to quality parameters. We go for a very, very precision narrow band. So there's a screenshot of Overgrower. That, you can see we're growing lettuce. It's on day 167. And when you look at the pH range we have set for our plants, we are very, very working in a very narrow band, which is 5.8 to 6 pH. And I still remember my very first initial days interaction with the Overgrower team. And they said, hey, Alok, don't go for such a narrow band of 0.2 in terms of pH. I said, let me try it out because we want precision. So the recommendation which came from Overgrower was like, keep it between 5.5 and 6.5. Our agronomist said, let's try and go precision. And even when it comes to the easy or tedious, we really went very, very narrow band because that really helps the plant absorb the nutrients in a much better way, and that's where precision comes in. So this is just a very simple example of precision we're talking about. We talk about precision at all levels, all the parameters which are critical for plant growth. So let me show you when we set a precision level which is very high or a very narrow band, how are we achieving it? How does it work? So here is a graph which shows pH level being maintained for 4 days. So this sometime in August last year. And you can see, we've set the pH range between those two orange lines, which you see up here, between 5.8 and 6. And yes, Overgrower is maintaining it in that precision band. So yes, it's possible. You have to throw up challenges, and you should be able to achieve it. Is what we strongly believe in. And with this kind of a precision, we are able to really produce good quality food. So coming down to farming on the cloud or cloud connected farming, this is one slide which none of us likes to see, right? Lockdown, stay at home. Now this is where, when lockdown started out here in Pune, India, in the mid of March 2020, and we were in two minds of how do we manage our farms. So since we're using a cloud connected technology, we were able to monitor all the parameters, all the values which are being fed to our plants, the climate, the nutrients, the water quality, everything. So there's Overgrower, which is helping us monitor the nutrients, the climate, and all that. We have other systems where we keep a track of the water quality and stuff like that. And with that, we're really able to manage our farm in a very precision manner, the way we used to do when we were physically present there. So we used to visit our farm once in a week, go there, transplant the new saplings, harvest the produce, come back home, go back after 7 days. So cloud connected technology really helped us manage our farms. And with having done that, so we were of the opinion that, you've got to be on the farm every day, you've got to monitor your plants, everything. But when we started doing this during the lockdown, we kind of became a very firm believer that yes, using cloud technology, you can really expand your business. You need not be physically present there. You can monitor your plants through various cameras. You can monitor through various sensors, everything. Whenever there is a need, you could always visit so during lockdown, when we started doing this, we said, yes, you can do farming on the cloud. And that's why I named the session today as farming on the cloud, right? So using cloud technology, you can really monitor everything. So when you're cloud connected to your farm, you can actually manage your whole farm through the cloud. All the data is available in the cloud. Once you're connected there, you can monitor and control, not only monitor, but also control through various devices, all the critical to quality parameters for your produce, Not only that, you can also keep a track on how your plants are growing. Is there any pest attack on it? But when you're doing protected farming, the chances of pest attack are drastically reduced. So we need not worry much about it when you're doing protected farming. But yeah, you're in open field farming, that becomes a bigger challenge. Yeah. So today, is the plant growing the way we want it? Everything you can manage through your cloud connected systems. Data analytics. Now
Alok,
that's one of the
2 minutes,
most.
please.
Yes, please.
2 minutes, please. 2 минуты осталось. Переведите, пожалуйста.
You have 2 minutes before the end of your presentation.
Извините. Excuse me.
We do apologize, but we have a pretty tough schedule.
Yes, so
4 minutes.
we are almost at the last slide. Yeah. So in terms of data analytics, we use a lot of data which is now available on the cloud in terms of managing, the parameters, how our produce is, how our yield is, and that really helps us managing our farms in a far, far, far more effective way. So what is the current work we're doing in this domain? We design precision farms for our customers, people who want to set up farms which are cloud connected. We help them design precision farms. We guide and enable cloud connected farming out here. So this really helps the farmer focus on future development. He doesn't get too much entangled with the day-to-day work he has, because now he's automated a lot of things which are cloud connected. In the future, what we also plan to do is use cloud connected technology, take it to the next level. So one is the farmer is growing the produce. The next is, how do you ensure that this produce reaches the consumer in the shortest possible time? Because as the produce becomes 1 day old, 2 day old, or 3 day old, the freshness is gone. It's now becoming stale. So how do you really deliver fresh and healthy produce to customers within hours of harvest? We strongly believe, or at Growlife, we call it eat fresh and stay fresh. So we're going to be using cloud connected technology in future to deliver our fresh produce to the customers within hours of harvest, and that is really going to help. So different ways. So one is using cloud connected technologies for farming, and the second is delivering it to your customer, and that's really going to help us eliminate food wastage. So the future direction is, let's produce and feed the world with healthy and nutritious food. So that brings me to the end of my presentation.